And welcome to episode 583 of the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. I'm Sean.
And I'm Ian, and this is the only podcast that says
you didn't know what rock and roll was until you met my drummer on a Grey Tour bus. I got there in a nick of time before he got his hands across your state line.
wow.
Yeah. It's a rough week for rock and roll as we lost both the lead singer of Great White and Greg Ken. Yeah.
And what?
And Greg Ken.
Oh.
Yeah, the Greg Ken band.
Yeah.
He of the breakup song and Our Love's in Jeopardy. Yeah.
And on to a more depressing note.
I'm dying. No, I'm not dying. At least not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Good.
I mean, I haven't been to a doctor since 1991, so.
Yeah. You never know.
So it's a mystery. I very well may be. I'll explain why I wake up covered in semen and blood every morning.
Nice.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. Hey.
It's an early podcast. Ian's going to the Steeler game tonight.
I am.
Yeah. Are you excited to see the new look offense?
Yeah, I am. I'm excited to see the first two quarters.
Like, I guess Russell Wilson's only playing the first quarter,
Probably.
and Justin Fields will probably have the second, maybe the third.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I didn't read too much on it. So.
Yeah, I didn't either. Like, I had to actually, like, the Brandon Ayuk stuff was like, I just had to pull away from, like, Steeler news. Because, like, everything was like, well, okay, the Steelers have got a trade in place for him. No, they don't. Maybe they do. Oh, no, the Steelers are no longer in contention. He's either going to Cleveland or New England. No, they're not in contention. It's only the Steelers. Like, it was just like, I can't take this roller coaster. I need to get off of this.
Yeah.
This ride is horrible.
Yeah.
Just tell me when it's done. Either he stays in San Francisco or he's coming here.
Yeah.
But either way, I am done with the shenanigans. You know?
Yeah.
And I don't think many other people feel the same way. It's like, you know, I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm
done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it went on like all summer. Like all summer long, it was like, oh, the Steelers are going to trade for Ayuk. It's just a matter of time. And then it's like camp's open. I'm like, well, that's kind of done. Like I can't see them pulling off a trade now. You know.
Yeah.
And Ayuk is still under contract. He eventually has to play. You know.
Yeah.
He can't sit out the entire season. And it just continued. Like the soap opera just continued and continued. And I was like, oh, fuck, I can't.
I know.
You know, like at the exact same time, the Pirates went into like this like 12-game tailspin.
Yeah.
Of like they were like contenders. They were just over 500 and they were contending for that wild card spot. And now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, they're the worst team in baseball.
I know.
You know, and it's like, fuck, I need some good news. It's like, you know, when did the Penguins start? You know,
Sooner than you think.
Yeah, sooner than you think.
They'll be around.
Yeah, I think camp starts next month for them.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like it's just that thing of like I need some sort of like happy sports news, something, anything, please. You know. Tell me Malk and Letang and Crosby they're going to retire together after the end of this season, please, something. You know.
Yeah.
You said it.
I'm still shaking freaking fire smoke
Yeah.
from camping.
Yeah.
It was good. Like when I went to Cooper's Rock, the campsites were pretty spread out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we probably had like quarter of an acre. You know,
Yeah.
Maybe a little under, but I mean,
It was a very big spot for.
and it was spread out.
Yeah.
And like the neighbors,
They're not on top of you.
No, they're not. and their grills are far away,
Yeah.
and it's split out nicely. I
Yeah.
like Cooper's Rock because they have tent pads
Yeah.
that's made of gravel and dirt, but it's like 4x4s.
Yeah.
It's flat. And
Yeah.
you can drive stakes in.
That's what I think most parks have them
No,
now.
they don't.
Really?
No,
Okay.
not really. Some do, but this was like elevated tent pad,
Okay.
which is nice because, if it rains or anything like that,
Yeah, it's not puddling under your tent.
correct.
Yeah.
And you're like off the ground.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Yeah.
And I like Cooper's Rock an awful lot. But it was just so hot when we went there.
Yeah.
And, but where we were at, I mean, it was much cooler, of course, because it was all treed.
Yeah.
Forest. So then we went to Ohio Pile,
Yeah.
which I like the Ohio Pile trails. And like I said, I think we did like 17 miles in 2 days or something like that
Yeah.
of hiking, not walking, but hiking,
Yeah.
which is different. It's a little bit more strenuous,
Right,
I
I
feel,
get that, yeah.
than just walking on a flat surface.
Right.
But the sites were like kind of on top of each other.
Yeah.
Now we lucked out. We didn't get like literally, there's your site, and then like if I walked 6 feet, I'm in the other site
You're right. Yeah.
one way, and if I walk 6 feet the other way, I'm in the other side. Like it was
Right.
really packed in.
Yeah.
But luckily there was only one person one night on the site to the right, and nobody booked the site to the left.
Yeah.
The entire time I was in.
Right.
So that worked out.
Right.
And I did like the shower house is close within 50 yards of
Yeah.
where we were at.
Yeah.
So that was nice if you had to get a bathroom and stuff like
Right.
that. Because it's rustic to a certain degree. Like there's a bathhouse and bathrooms and stuff.
Yeah. I get that. Like, I've been places like that where you go down to the bathhouse and,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, and those amenities are not fantastic.
No, it's not Shangri-La.
No, I've been in
It's
locker rooms.
disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in locker rooms that are better set up than.
Like you should wear shower shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
There's fucking spiders everywhere. It's
Yeah.
just what it is. You're in the woods, right? I get
exactly. Yeah.
that. But
And depending on how popular the place is, like they may not get used that often.
right.
Like Monday through Thursday, they're probably not used at all.
Right.
Like there's probably very few people who are there for the week, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday is when people are coming up and
yeah.
spending a weekend or maybe a long weekend.
Yeah.
But
But
for
it was
the most part, like those shower houses are
yeah.
not used, and then come fall, they're just shut the fuck down.
Yeah.
And
there's also they had it nicely set up PA wise. They have like a kitchen station in there where you can wash all your pots and pans, and they have a double sink. And
yeah,
it's really nice.
Yeah.
Hot water, really hot water.
Yeah.
I suppose. And so I thought, man, this is pretty cool. So there were parts of the park that I loved, and parts of it that I didn't.
yeah,
Like I loved the fact that the bathhouse was right there.
yeah.
Not right there, but we were.
You weren't smelling it.
Nah, I mean we were
Yeah.
up the hill from it, but
Yeah.
I mean 5-minute walk down the road. And we
Yeah.
were there. And when you have pots and pans, you got to clean. It's right there.
Yeah,
I like that part of it. And it was all woods, of course, wooded, and that was nice too.
yeah,
Part that I didn't like was just the amount of people that were there.
yeah,
It was just getting to my point of getting the fire out of my fucking chest.
yeah.
Everybody had a fire. So,
Of course, yeah. So
correct. So
Yeah.
it's like you're in the center of a giant bonfire,
Right. Yeah.
in essence, because I had my fire going and the neighbors had their fire going. And
Yeah.
every single person there had a fire.
Yeah.
So it's like the whole, it just smells like camp smoke,
Yeah.
like the entire time. So I didn't like that, but I did like Cooper's sort of somewhat secluded spots.
Yeah.
But, it was fun. And it's a relatively inexpensive thing to do, right? Because we have
Yeah.
the camp. We eat food that we already have at home. So I just it's, you know, I
Yeah.
would be cooking, not at home, but we would be cooking the same thing in PA at the
Right.
house than we would be cooking, you know,
Yeah.
on a campfire stove.
Right.
You know, it's
Yeah.
not that hard to
Right.
transition. I got a Coleman stove, so
Yeah.
it's not like open fire cooking. I'm, you know, I'm cooking on a Coleman stove, so
The investment is big. I'm not saying huge, but it's big because like you need the equipment.
and we have most of the
Right.
equipment.
But like
The only thing we invested in was a tent.
yeah, like if you're starting off
$100.
like yeah, you're looking at $100 for a tent. You know, a Coleman stove, the
That
propane, huh?
had, yeah,
Yeah.
had that stuff.
But like the basic equipment that you like kind of like I remember when with Graham and Pap Coon,
Mm,
like they had a setup.
yeah,
Like because I went camping with them a few times. And like they had like a portable pantry, they had like an 8-man tent,
hmm
you know, because I mean the tent that they were using they was the same tent my my dad camped with them in.
yeah,
Like it was like this ancient canvas tent that was like amazing.
yeah,
You know, it was huge. And but like they had like and then they would have like the thing that like put over like the picnic table with like um
yeah, gazebo.
the gazebo type thing, but it had like the screen sides so like bugs couldn't get in.
Right.
Um like they had like a whole setup. Like they had the specific like pots, pans, silverware that was like the camping supplies. Like that was like all of their stuff. So like you know, the Coleman stove, like the whole kit and caboodle. Like
Mhm.
and you know, they had like 2 or 3 coolers,
Yeah,
you know, for all the food that they were, you know, this was for breakfast, this was the lunch stuff, this was dinner, you know, like they had a whole setup. So like I think of it that way in a lot of ways. Like if I was to have a setup like that, and I mean that wasn't like you hear the term glamping. That wasn't glamping. That was
No.
like it was just like the way they had its thing set up so that it was like you know you had the portable pantry and then like you know you put canned stuff in there
yeah,
like you know like that so like they would have like 4 or 5 cans of potatoes
yeah,
you know for breakfast or
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
like you know
yeah.
stuff like that you know like they had all this stuff and I just that's the way I think of it is like to have that set up or something similar to that setup like that
Mm.
you'd be looking at you know 500-600 bucks probably total
Yeah,
you know for good coolers for you know for the whole thing but at the same time like you could basically do it on the cheap as well
yeah, and that's kind of where we're at.
yeah
I mean, like we usually take one cooler.
yeah
It's not a Yeti either. It's just an igloo cooler.
yeah
Um, um, we set up the Coleman stove on the picnic table. Usually,
yeah
we don't have a gazebo or anything like that yet.
yeah
Um, our chairs, you know, we have a couple bags with like food,
yeah
like dry food. You know,
yeah
it doesn't have to be refrigerated. Try to crack the eggs before you go.
yeah
You know, if you're making eggs, it's just easier.
right
But there's a lot of, but like I said, the camping sites are like $23 a night.
yeah
I mean, you get a hotel. Not that I'm saying I don't mind hotels. You're not doing it like
right
going somewhere, you know, Columbus or something like that. But what I'm
right
saying is, um, you know, you're paying like $25 a night on stuff you already have that you enjoy doing.
right
And we hike like crazy. So that's sort of like one of the main purposes we go is to get a hike.
right
And it's like, you know, you get a hotel in Ohio Pile, you're looking at like well over 100 a night,
yeah
you know, and then like you have to eat. So you're spending money on food because you're not cooking your own,
or you could bring your own depending on
depending on the hotel.
yeah like you know
But
I've
you
stayed
get
at
a,
enough
you get,
hotels now where they have like a stove and everything
yeah, but if you get like efficiency style hotel, that raises the cost.
right
Do you know what I mean?
right
So all those things cost money. you
Yeah.
know, because you have to eat at least twice a day,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
so that just adds up and adds up and adds up.
Right.
So your camping trip really costs you well under $100 with the site fees. Do
Right.
you know what I mean? Firewood's so plentiful in the camp. We usually buy a stack, which is like $6.
Yeah.
Ice, which is like under two, and usually there's enough wood around you.
Right.
You know what I mean? That you can get tons of wood
Right.
just there
Right.
at site. You know. So anyway, it's a nice quick trip, and the Perseid meteor shower was going on. We saw some cool meteors up in a field.
Yeah.
Um, so that was the reason for that trip. I was concerned about rain because we were getting the remnants of that hurricane, so I didn't know
Yeah.
what it was going to be like, but it turned out to be beautiful.
Yeah. It was a good weekend.
Yeah, and like hiking, the humidity was down, and so was the temperature.
Hmm.
So it's not really the heat that gets me when I hate the summer, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. We just said like the humidity is what is
yeah, because
awful.
I like to hike in the winter. So I mean, like I'll
Yeah.
hike any time of year, but the summer's the worst, and the humidity is just the heat's not so. If it's 85 degrees with low humidity, you're
That's
covered.
comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're covered by trees most of the time when you're hiking.
Right.
So you're taking all that heat out of it,
Right.
direct heat.
Right.
But with humidity, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, there was one point I was going uphill, and I think my heart rate went up to like 135, 140,
Yeah.
just because you just couldn't stop sweating.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to hike uphill in really humid conditions.
Right.
But that weekend there was like no humidity. It was cool.
Yeah.
So much so that I actually put a flannel on at one point at night
Yeah.
because it was cooler.
It dropped down to like the 50s here.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
up there it was a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I always liked to hike with my brother and my own thing when I was younger.
Yeah.
And so now I'm getting back into that.
Cool.
But it's helping me lose weight too. So,
Right.
you know, even though I'm not on plan right now, but I'm still dropping weight.
Yeah, because just you're.
Well, I'm watching what I'm eating.
Yeah, but also, I mean, just the simple fact that you are hiking.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like.
I'm getting
You,
physical exercise, put it that way.
right. Like,
At least 3 or 4 days a week.
like, you weren't like me. Like, I'm morbidly obese. But, like, you, I mean, I'm just telling the truth. Like, if that would be the medical condition, you know, where, like, I mean, you had some extra poundage on you, but, like, based upon your work, you were still in, like, decent shape. Now you're just exercising muscles that you weren't exercising previously.
Yeah.
And now because of the activity you already had plus what you're adding to it,
Yeah.
you know, so not being on a strict diet, just watching what you eat.
And that's what I've been doing for the past couple months. Now I'm going to
Yeah.
go back on plan because I got to shed another 30. But I'm still dropping weight. That's why I'm hesitant, because I'm still dropping weight. I'm just dropping it slower.
Right.
But last year I weighed 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I'm coming in at around 231, 232.
I don't think you have to drop any more weight.
Who, me?
No.
Yeah, I got it. I want to be about 200.
But at your size, you're going to feel thin.
We'll see how I feel.
Yeah.
If I don't feel good at 200, then I'll bump back up to 210. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel good now.
Like, I've always felt myself that, like, I had a friend who he was 6'8", and he was 450 pounds, and he had the band surgery, and he got down to 200, and he's looking at me. He's like, "How do you think I look?" I'm like, "Oh, no, honestly, you look like you walked out of Auschwitz."
Nice.
He's like, "What?" I'm like, "You look like a cancer patient. I mean, you're 6'8", and you're 200 pounds. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you know, the Kembe Mutombo had more weight
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
he looked like a stick. So I mean, like that they're like I always felt like if I could get down to 250, like my playing weight, when the weight what I weighed when I graduated high school, 250, I feel like I would be comfortable with that weight.
Yeah.
Like I would still be a big man. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's something to that. I feel like
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I'm big boned anyway. So I mean, like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna get my shoulders are not gonna shrink.
right,
Do you know what I'm saying? Like the bones, the structure
right.
is there. I just gotta get it off the midsection. Really, the only fat I have on me is right here,
Yeah, so like I don't feel like you need to
right in my
lose
belly.
weight. I feel like you need to tighten it up.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Like at 230 for your size at what you're 6'2".
Yeah.
Yeah, like two.
Now I'm 6 foot.
Yeah. You made fun of me when I said I was 6'3". You're like, did you lose an inch? I'm like, I think so. Yes. And you're like, no, you didn't. And now you're telling me you went from 6'2" to 6 foot. So
Well, no, I went from 6'3" to 6'2".
okay,
I was 6'3" in high school.
okay, yeah.
I'm
So
about 6'2".
so when I was 50 and I made that same reference, you
Yeah.
were like, get the fuck out of here now, motherfucker. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, even at 6'2", 230, that's a good size in my opinion. Like, you need to tighten it up, sure, but I don't think you need to.
But the thing about losing the weight though is I can see the old me coming,
Yeah,
like of how I looked when I was younger. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, I haven't been 230
right. Long time.
20
Yeah,
plus years or more,
right.
So I feel like I'm getting back to, and I feel good.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like I'm not sluggish.
Yeah,
I just my physically I feel good too.
right.
I mean, as far as from all the hiking and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So I'm walking. It's got to get to a gym. Just like you said, the tone.
yeah.
Yeah. But I had to shed that initial 70.
But like I would say, like you really don't even need to go to a gym. Like if you buy yourself like a nice set of resistance bands,
Yeah.
you could probably do the things you need to do without spending money on a gym.
Yeah, probably.
Like, because in all honesty, like, you've lost to 70, like the hard work is done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so now, like if you bought yourself like a nice set of resistance bands, maybe a nice set of dumbbells,
Yeah.
you could probably do all the things you would need to do in a gym from the comfort of your home without spending, on a gym membership every month.
Right. Yeah.
You know, because it's all core work at this point for you. Like you're just
Yeah.
trying to tighten up that core.
Yeah.
So a lot of that was like stuff like doing like squats
You're right.
with like not the bar or anything, just like what they would have me do when I joined a gym and they were having me work on this was like they stacked up like two like milk crates
Yeah.
and then I was just doing a squat till my butt touched the milk crate and came back up. And I would do like 3 sets of like 10.
Yeah.
And then like doing like intervals of like resistance, like it was resistance bands like tied to a wall, and then you just kind of like um snap like that, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the band added resistance to what you were, so it was shit like that I was doing, and I was like, after a while, I was like, why am I paying like half of this shit that they've got me using? I could probably get at Five Below,
Yeah.
like it wasn't like I was using like high end like weightlifting equipment.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So like that's why I'm saying like maybe save yourself the money, look into it a little bit, maybe search out some YouTube.
Yeah, there's a lot of chair exercises you can do too.
Yeah,
I've noticed, and it's become very popular.
yeah, especially with people like with mobility issues.
Yeah, but I'm talking like just using a chair,
Yeah,
like hands back,
yeah,
feet straight out,
right,
and working triceps and
yeah.
biceps that way.
So like I would say, like I said, like I would encourage you to like I said, look at like buying a good set of resistance bands and looking for some workouts on YouTube
Yeah,
that are going to hit what you want to hit
yeah,
and save yourself the gym membership
yeah, true.
because
Now I hear it.
I'm just looking at it from that state. Like the work that you want to do is probably work that you could do from home at a decent cost without.
Right,
Not only that, but it's right there instead of like so. Oh yeah, I gotta leave. I'm gonna go to the gym for an hour. And deal with that bullshit.
right,
Now it's all just right there for you.
right.
That's the way I think. Like if I was you, if I was in your situation, that's how I would
Right.
look at it.
Yeah, it's just work in progress.
Yeah.
But I'm getting there.
You may also just want to go to a gym. Like if that's what you want to do,
I
by
do.
all means. Yeah. I mean, I found that experience to be horrible.
Yeah.
Because like when you're there during the day,
It's just the fact of like I like my time,
yeah,
so I'd rather do something at home versus you know what I mean,
right.
like going out and doing it. I'd
Yeah.
rather just go home and do it.
Right. No, I agree. Like because like to me it was always that thing of like and I was going after work. So I'm like there at like 11 o'clock at night and
Right.
I was always just like I just want to get the fuck out of here.
Right.
You know, I want to get my work in, get done, and like. But I always had that mentality too. Like when I used to like play football, and I'd go to like, the summer weightlifting.
Right.
Like I didn't fuck around. I didn't talk to anybody. I got my work. Like I literally got my work in and was out. Like I was done in 45 minutes. Those guys were hanging around for like 2, 3 hours.
Right.
I'm like, why?
And that's just too long at a gym. I
It
mean,
is.
you're living there. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm not into all that.
No, neither am I. Like I mean, and those guys were. I mean, it wasn't even like I was doing the same amount of work a day where they were just like hanging out and bullshitting and stuff. And I'm like, man, I got shit to do.
Right.
I got firecrackers to set off. I got
Firecrackers.
I got a comic book to read. I'm gonna go take a shit in the woods. I don't know, but I got stuff to do that does not involve hanging out with you motherfuckers for like 3 hours.
Right.
And like they were baffled. Like like well, how are you in and out of here so quick? 'Cause I don't fuck around.
Right.
I'm not taking 20 minutes between sets.
True.
I'm taking two.
Right. No, I get that. I'm trying to show you. I can find it. But that is a long time.
It is, yeah. Like even like I can see like 2 hours. Like probably if you're doing it right, like the amount of at that time, I should say, like when I was in high school, like the amount of work you did, I may have been hurting myself by just flying through it to get out.
Right.
Whereas if I took more time between sets, maybe I would have been better off. But like still, like I was like, I'm done in 40, 45 minutes. I don't know what the fuck you people are doing.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't understand that at all.
it is hot in the stadium. There's no air conditioning.
Right.
It's 1,000 fucking degrees. I just need to get the fuck out of here.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to do it. That's just
Yeah.
it's just too much. I was trying to find something to show you, but I can't find it.
All right.
No. Um. Anyway.
Based upon your activities, I'm gonna guess you haven't watched anything recently.
No.
Okay. All right. So we paused for a second so you can get a smoke in, and you realize you did watch something. So why don't you tell us what you watched?
Beverly Hills Cop.
The new one on Netflix.
Yeah. It was okay.
I enjoyed it. Like I didn't feel like I wasted my time watching it. Like there was some funny stuff.
Yeah, there were some funny things. The
Yeah.
hockey scene was amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like the whole beginning. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was Axel Foley. you know. But I thought, like, some of the stuff with the commissioner and shit was pushed.
Yeah.
Like I hate to say it, but it's almost like he lost his acting chops a little bit. Like the guy was so old that
Yeah.
it's kind of forced in there.
Yeah.
Uh, what's his name? The guy that was retiring in the beginning was good. Uh,
Yeah.
what's his name? Mad About You.
Yeah. I mean, I got from Mad About You. Yeah.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
Like he was real good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed his acting. Like that was good. But it's the commissioner later on in Beverly Hills
Yeah.
or whatever he was, chief.
Yeah. The chief. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pushed. Like it
Yeah.
was just bad. Even the Judge Reinhold thing was a little pushed. Some of it. He looked good. It came across kind of strange sometimes.
It's hard to believe that he's still the Billy
Yeah,
from 1987.
correct. With the GNR T-shirt. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And of course, I say that as I'm sitting here wearing a
No.
Suicide Squad T-shirt as a 51-and-a-half-year-old
Yeah,
man.
no, I get it. I mean, I wear my
So-
Marvel shirts too. I
Right.
understand, but
So-
it's just kind of strange to me.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
them reconnecting and
yeah,
settling their shit. Yeah, it's just kind of like, okay. But it was good.
yeah. There were definitely some moments that definitely had like a nostalgic feel of like, yeah, that's Beverly Hills Cop,
Yeah.
And then there were some like when he gets arrested, and they're putting him in the smart car, police car. He's like, what are you, the Lego police? Like,
Right.
It was shit like that was funny. Like, so there were some moments, and so a lot of the action sequences were very reminiscent of like Beverly Hills Cop and Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Yeah.
But overall, like, was it a great movie? No.
No.
Was it better than Beverly Hills Cop 3? Yes. Was it as good as 1 and 2? No.
Right.
But it held its own in its own way of kind of like being like, this is where this character, like, the thing you do believe is that Axel Foley would still be Axel Foley at that age. Like, that would not have changed.
Right.
Like, it might get him killed at some point thinking he's still Axel Foley,
Right.
but, and even him driving around the beginning in the old beat up Nova,
Right.
that was like
I know.
that fucking car is 50 years old,
I know.
but yeah, like overall, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was well done.
Right.
Certain things I liked, some things I didn't like, but overall, I enjoyed it.
Right.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. And I watched last night. I watched Furiosa.
How was that?
It is amazing if you like that style of movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I want to preface this. Like, I loved it, but you have to like Mad Max. You have to like The Road Warrior. You have to like Beyond Thunderdome. Like,
Right.
you have to like those movies, not to enjoy this, but to just, like, it's not like you had to have watched every Mad Max movie to see what this movie is. Like, no, you don't.
Right.
But at the same time, you have to enjoy that style of movie.
Right.
Like, she has a total of, like, I think, like 20 or 30 lines. Like, she's as quiet as Max is in, like, the second movie. I think Mel Gibson speaks like 7 times. Like,
Right.
like, it's like that thing of the way George Miller tells the story, the visuals that he uses, the thing, like, it's a fantastic movie that tells a very interesting story, but you have to want to get the story,
Right.
if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah. Like, if you're just somebody who's like, oh, this looks kind of interesting, let me give it a watch, you're going to be like, oh, this is fucking awful.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're just not going to get into it because of the way George Miller shoots things, the way things look. Now, I mean, there are some action sequences that are just fucking phenomenal. I love them. Like there is a chase scene in the middle of this movie with a war rig that is so fucking good,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of other high point action sequences that I really like as well. But like the there's like one main set piece in the middle of the movie that's with the a war rig.
Yeah.
Then it's like 20 minutes of just like, oh shit, I can't believe they did this, that type of thing.
Right.
So coffee. Ah,
Cold brew.
good for you.
I love cold brew.
I know. That's one of those things. I'm not gonna get it because I just don't get coffee. Right. Coffee to me is just a mystery. But you know, but yeah. So overall, like, I would highly like for you. I would highly recommend you watch Furiosa.
Okay.
Um, there is a Max cameo at one point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, wasn't necessary. It doesn't add or take away from the story, but there's just like one point where you see Max the dog and the '73 Ford Falcon.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the last of the V8 interceptors. So that was like I was like, oh, George had to put him in there.
Right.
But it is it's a good movie that I mean, and Helmsworth is so fucking good.
Is he good in it?
Because it's so different from what you normally see from Helmsworth.
Yeah.
Like, it's not Thor. It's not like, the typical Helmsworth, like, over muscled badass.
Yeah.
Like, he is a very different character, acting his ass off, is like doing the weird kind of voice and accent. Like, I liked Helmsworth a lot.
Right.
In this. He earned a spot, that's for sure. I was like, oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, he's good, dude.
He is. He's a better actor than I think people kind of like give him credit for because he's Thor.
Right.
Like I feel like he kind of got like because he's Chris Helmsworth. Like you can at least say like Chris Evans before he was Captain America, there were other things that he did. You knew he was a good actor. Like Helmsworth, it's like he went from being George Kirk to being Thor.
Right.
And kind of like everything in between that he's done has just kind of been like, comic bookish type movies.
Right.
Yeah. Ghostbusters and Men in Black and stuff like that. And I feel like this movie kind of like shows like, yeah, this guy can actually act. Like he's more than just a nice set of abs.
Right.
And I like that. And I heard him say like he was talking about it. And he's like, somebody asked like, what does Mad Max mean to Australia? He's like, Americans have Star Wars, the British have Harry Potter, we have Mad Max.
Right.
So if I think for him to be a part of that franchise meant something to him too.
Yeah.
So he maybe brought a little extra because of.
Yeah, everything, all the clips I've seen on him are just, wow, he looks amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the shit out of it. I would highly I highly recommend it only if you are a fan of those movies, though.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's that weird thing of like I would not recommend The Road Warrior to everybody just because it's like as much as I love that movie and I think it's one of the best science fiction movies of all time. Like it's that movie though that you kind of sit there and you say like, yeah, I don't know if you'd enjoy that or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's just because of like George Miller is a unique storyteller in how he tells the story.
Right.
Like in my opinion. And so like it's that thing of like maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. It's really artistic, but in a violent sort of way. Like I like it. I like his style. Like I go back, I wish he would have made this Justice League movie because I think it would have been phenomenal and batshit crazy and amazing.
Mm.
Um, but I like when George Miller goes back to the wasteland, and I hope he goes back again one more time. Like I hope
Yeah.
he's able to, because he said he wrote another movie for like when he said when he did Furiosa was written at the same time as Fury Road, and he said he also wrote another movie called The Wasteland,
Okay.
which like because he's like all the mythology that goes into Fury Road had to be broken up really into three movies.
Right.
And so I hope he gets to make the third movie because, I mean, Fury Road's amazing. And even with like you taking Mel Gibson out and putting Tom Hardy in, like I was like, Tom Hardy's a great actor, but I don't know if he can be Max.
No.
And he pulled that off brilliantly, and it's an amazing movie. And this was an amazing, like to me, it was an amazing movie. It's like I was like George Miller's got one more in him, and I hope I get to see it.
Yeah.
I do because I mean I just like his style.
It is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even as bad as like I mean, and I'll shit on it because like when you compare, the problem with Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome is just the fact that it's the sequel to the Road Warrior, and the Road Warrior is so good, and this just isn't the Road Warrior.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was like, man, this is so different from the Road Warrior. But I think if I go back and I rewatch it, I haven't watched that one in a while.
Mm.
I feel like if I go back and rewatch that, I might appreciate it just a little bit more with distance. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I might go back and like, this isn't as bad as I thought it was.
Mm. Yeah, it's not.
No, I mean, like, I'm not going to tell you it's as, like, I feel like it's kind of like saying, like, well, The Dark Knight Rises is a bad movie. But the reality is it's following The Dark Knight. And The Dark Knight was so good.
Right.
Like, you're holding it, it can't clear that hurdle. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way you can beat. And so part of what it suffers from is the fact that, like, well, you followed up The Dark Knight. I'm sorry, like
Right.
but you're just not that good, And so we shit on that movie a little bit. And the reality of that movie is it's not as bad as we say it is. I mean, it has its faults, but it's probably not as bad as we think it is. But we're holding it up to such a high standard, it just can't meet it.
Right. I hear you.
Yeah.
So what else did you watch?
I watched a movie on Apple TV called The Instigators.
Okay.
It's got a friend of the show, Matty Damon,
Nice.
and Casey Affleck.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the basic premise is that Casey Affleck and Matty get hired to rob the mayor
Okay.
on election night.
Okay.
Like it's like the mayor's gonna win. They throw this massive party. It's a cash only bar. And to get in is like everything's cash only. So it's like there's gonna be all this money there,
Okay.
and you're gonna rob them.
All right.
And of course, everything that can go wrong does go wrong
Right.
with this heist, and they're on the run. It's not a bad movie. Like it wasn't great. Like I enjoyed it.
Right.
It's worth a watch, but it wasn't. It's the type of movie that it's not sure if it's a comedy or if it's like a heist. Like there are moments where it tries to be funny, but it doesn't really quite pull it off.
Right.
But at the same time, like there are some interest. Like there's a great chase scene that I absolutely love, and then like then there's it's followed up with like this odd moment of like them talking, and there's the humor just is like just a little bit off. It's kind of like the first season of the Orville where they kept trying to be funny and they really weren't.
Right,
And then come season 2, they kind of like just dropped the comedy aspect of it and went with like it being a straight Star Trek show for the most part.
Right. It was a great show.
Yeah. Like this movie kind of has that season 1 Orville problem where like there are jokes and the jokes just don't quite hit.
Right.
But overall, it's like a halfway decent movie.
I get it.
Yeah. That's the best way I can describe it.
Oh, man.
I guess I watched that, and that's about it.
That's it?
Yeah. No, that's not it. I talked about it last week. I did watch the final season of The Umbrella Academy.
Oh, how was that?
It's good.
Okay.
It's too short. They only did 6 episodes.
Oh, Christ.
Like I was surprised. Like I got to episode 4, and I'm watching on Netflix, and it comes up like only 2 episodes left. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. There's a lot to wrap up in these 2 episodes, and they kind of do, But like as a final season, I felt like okay, yeah, I like how it ended. You know what I mean? Like I had no problem with that. Like I do wish they had maybe given it another episode or 2,
Okay.
maybe an 8-episode run to kind of really give it a. Like I said, like the final episode kind of rushes things a bit more than I liked. And it opens up things where you're like, oh, well, that's interesting, but you're going to shut that shit down right away because we have to finish the show. Like, so, like, there was, but overall, like, I enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't bad.
Okay.
So I watched that, and then there was a, I can never remember the name of this fucking show. It's got, oh, God. Let me find it here real quick. I'm trying to, I can't even think of the guy's name now. Rob Lowe. It's got Rob Lowe.
Okay.
Unstable was the name of the show. It's got Rob Lowe and Rob Lowe's son.
Okay.
And it's on its 2nd season. I watched season 2. And I enjoyed that.
Did you?
Yeah. It's a comedy. Rob Lowe plays like this Elon Musk type of, or, not Bill Gates, Apple guy.
Bill. That's Gates, right?
No, Gates is Microsoft.
Oh. What was his name?
Yeah. Shit.
Ah. Yeah.
Anyway, but like this eccentric billionaire inventor scientist named Ellis Dragon.
Okay.
And his son plays his son Jackson Dragon.
Okay.
And like Jackson feels like, like there's nothing I can do in my life that I can live up to my father.
Okay.
Because I mean it's true. Like the dude's like, he's on the cover of Rolling Stone. He's like this. It's his company. Like everything about him is in the shadow of his father, which would be like I could understand that. Like that would make sense. Like looking at it from that standpoint, you'll forever be like the first line of your eulogy will be the son of Ellis Dragon.
Sure. Okay.
That's going to be like who he is, no matter what he does. Like if he creates a massive breakthrough in science, he's still the son of Ellis Dragon.
Okay.
So, and he doesn't have the personality like of his dad. His dad's like this over the top, like I said, like Musk. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that type of thing. And so it's like the show is about them. Trying to figure things like their lives out. But at the same time, like there's the story of the company and like everything. It's a funny show. Like I enjoy it. I've watched both season 1 and season 2 when they first come on. I think they're both very good. I would highly recommend the show.
Yeah.
It's they're like half-hour episodes.
Okay.
You know,
It's not bad.
no, not at all. I mean, you can get through an entire season in 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, you can spend an afternoon watching it. You know, so it is one of those things that like I really really enjoyed, and like if you're into it, I highly recommend it.
Cool.
Yeah.
What else have you been watching? It has to be something.
I finished season 1 of Spawn.
Okay. You said you were going to go back to that.
Yeah, like that's something I'm watching like intermittently here and there. Like if I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I watch Spawn, you know. So I enjoyed season 1.
Mm-hmm.
That was just one of those shows. Like I there are some things I remember from it, but a lot of it I don't.
Okay.
Because that came on at a time, like with HBO, where like there was no on demand.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
right, kids.
yeah, yeah.
There was a time where there was no on
Yeah,
demand.
there was no on demand.
Yeah, like let alone streaming. So like you had to catch that show when it came on.
Yeah, you did.
And I think it came on like late night on like Fridays or Saturdays. I can't remember. And like my DVR was, or not my DVR, excuse me, my VCR.
VCR.
My VCR
Yeah.
was already set to record like ECW.
Okay.
So it was like that thing of like, well, I never caught it like when it first ran. Like maybe I'd catch an episode here or there,
Yeah.
like because I'm like up late at night and they're showing it on like a Tuesday night or something. You know?
Right.
Like, but I never watched the full run of that show.
Okay.
So going back and watching season 1, I'm like, okay, yeah, I remember that, and I remember the creepy pedophile. I don't remember, like in season 1 they introduced like the hunters.
Yeah.
Like that was like, I'm like, I don't remember this at all. I can't wait to see where that goes.
Yeah.
Like they so there was like a lot of interesting things that I was like, I remember some of, and some of them I didn't, and but it was just because like at that time I just wasn't watching the show.
Right.
Like I wasn't tuning into it because I
Right.
was either out or I had something else that I was recording.
Yeah, if you think about it, TV was kind of hard to watch as compared to now.
Oh, dramatically.
Yeah, it's such a difference in the way what we've come to.
Like even like watching a show and trying to time out like a piss break during a commercial
Right.
so you can come back and not miss anything
Right.
because there was no pausing.
Nah.
Like that is a struggle kids will never understand.
Right.
Like your kids will never understand that.
Right.
Like, and that's how far back. And I mean, and they're in their mid-20s, and it's like, you will never understand the struggle of like, okay, I am running and getting myself a drink during this commercial break. I hope I make it back.
Or like getting a couple drinks and pre-making snacks or popcorn or anything before you even watch your show.
Yeah.
Because like once the show's on, you're not going to have time.
Right.
To like, you don't want to miss anything.
Exactly.
Right.
Like exactly. Like it was like this. Like what? It's hard to believe. It's like at that time, like how difficult watching TV was.
It was really difficult. I know. I mean, even when we were young, I can remember looking through the HBO guide and I said, "Oh, this is on at 8:00 on Thursday night."
Yeah.
I got to make sure that I'm ready for Thursday night.
Yeah. I got to make sure I'm home. I have to make sure, like, don't call me. Like, I ain't answering the phone.
Yeah.
All sort, like,
Yeah.
It's funny to think about. Like, and, like, I think back, and, like, my friends would make fun of me because they'd be like, well, I got to go home. Well, why? Well, because Robotech's on.
Right.
Well, it comes on in 10 minutes. I got to get home.
Right,
And like, well, why? Why do you, what the fuck? Look, this is like my show. Like,
Yeah.
I got to watch this.
It's funny.
It is. And like, and now it's like that thing of like, what's the big deal? Hit the pause button, go take a pee.
Right.
And like, I'm still programmed to a certain extent. Like I hate pausing a show or a movie to go to the bathroom.
Right.
Like my mind is trained to a point where it's like, no, you power through this.
Right.
You know, maybe like if I'm binging a TV show, like, okay, you wait till the next episode comes on, and then you pause it.
Right. Right.
But you do not pause during the show. And like during a movie, I mean, and that's a little different. Maybe you can understand it a little bit more, like, you know, because there is no pausing in a movie theater.
Right. Right.
Like, you know, like, fuck, you know, unless I absolutely positively cannot hold it any longer,
Well,
I'm not leaving the seat.
Correct. And then that's how I know that it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Like if I don't move during the entire movie,
Yeah.
in some movies, if they're that good, I mean, I wouldn't even get up and smoke or anything. I mean, if I'm that into it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Which doesn't come around too often.
But it's that movie theater mentality.
Sure.
Of like, if I'm in a movie theater, would I get up and would I get up to take a pee at this? You know, no. Like, I mean, it has got to be a desperate situation.
Yeah, I don't get up much during, like, if I'm in a theater, I don't get up
No.
normally.
And like, I have a routine. Like before I go into a theater, like I will make sure I, you know, go take a piss now. Get as much out of your body as you can.
Right.
Like, I will not touch my drink until the movie actually starts,
Really?
because I don't want, like, oh man, I'm sitting here for 15 minutes and I drink like 2 big sips of my, you know, my Slurpee,
Right. Right.
and now all of a sudden, with a half hour left of the movie, well, you took those 2 fucking sips early. Now you got to pee again. You know, that's like the mentality. It's a weird thing,
I know.
but it's just my mentality of like, you know, how do you survive? Especially like if it's like a Avengers Endgame or, you know,
Yeah.
or Dune.
You don't want to get up.
No, I do not want to get up at all. You know.
Yeah, you don't want to get up at all.
No.
So yeah, it's just weird where we've come to. You know what I mean?
And even sometimes like trying to find something to watch, and there was like that channel, like the TV Guide channel, that like scrolled through the channels.
Right.
For like, so you had to sit there and wait.
Right.
And see like, okay, oh, that's on USA. Okay, I'm watching that. You know, like,
Right.
It was like that. Like, if you didn't have a TV Guide,
Right. Yeah.
which again was a massive thing back in the day.
And it was huge.
Like, even like the newspaper printed their own like version,
Right.
which gave you like a grid with like all the major channels and what was on,
Right.
like even cable channels, like, you know, and it was like, fuck, you know, that's how you set up your life.
Yeah. Well, and that's like with newspapers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you got all the movies and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
where
Like
they were playing. And
back in the day, like going in the newspaper and finding the, like in the Sunday paper, especially like the listings.
right.
And like, plus not only that, but they also had like the mini movie posters.
Yeah.
And then like underneath the movie poster, like all the theaters that it was showing at,
Right.
you know, like stuff like that. Like, yeah, that was so much fun.
And then you could call
Yeah.
and then wait for them, to scroll. We're playing. Da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But that was like a long phone call, and you're sitting there with a pen and paper, like writing the shit down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now all you have to do is pick up your phone.
Yeah. Pick up your phone and, look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely different. It's a different way of life.
It is. It is a completely. It is like, it's strange, and I'm sure like every generation does this. Like, oh, back in my day, but like it's just that odd thing of being at that age now where we're at. We do look back and we see, like, man, how did we survive that shit?
Like, how did we make it?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess we didn't know any better. That's part of it.
but it's because it's what we had.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, I also like wonder, like, okay, 20 years from now, how are they going to look back at this time and be like, well, how did you survive? What the fuck was wrong with you people? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a very interesting way of looking at things. And the way we look at things now as compared to back then, and
Right.
you know, there's an angry child.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything's so different.
It is. It's really different, and
We've become old.
we have like, and I enjoy, but I also hate. Like there are like these people now, like these Gen X influencers,
Okay.
like they're on TikTok and they're on like Facebook Reels and stuff, and they post these videos and they're fun, but it's also like I want to smack them in the head sometimes because it's always the same shit. Like, Gen X is the fuck around and find out generation, and we were raised on hose water and neglect, and and like it's like this thing of like, I get it, but you're kind of drilling that into the ground.
Okay.
You know, let's talk about the reality of things. Like, you know, I was a latchkey kid not because my parents didn't care about me, but because they had to work 2 jobs.
Right.
Like you were a latchkey kid because your mom was working.
Right.
It was that thing of like it wasn't neglect. Like, and they love to leave that part out. They love to kind of like make it sound like we were just like unwanted. And it wasn't that. It was just a matter of, well, this is what was necessary
To survive.
to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is what my parents had to do.
You're right.
My mom didn't want to work. My mom wanted to be there for me. She wanted to have dinner for me. Like, this was the stuff that you did.
Yeah.
And so that type of stuff kind of grinds my gears. And also, it's like I look at the majority of them. I'm gonna say the majority, not all of them, but like it's like they look like they're in a good spot in life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, and I feel like Gen X is one of the first generations that did not do as well as the previous.
Okay.
Like boomers did as well, if not better than the silent generation. But when it got to us, like there is a fall off. And I feel like millennials and Gen Z
Right.
kind of look at us like we're the last generation to live the American dream. And I hate to break it to you, but we're not.
No, we're not.
Like, let me shoot a bit of reality at you here. For the majority of us, I think,
Yeah.
like retirement is a joke.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there will be no retirement.
Right.
Like I will be fired at my funeral because I'm a no call, no show.
Right.
Like that's what's going to happen to me. Like, I that's the stuff I'm talking about. The retirement age of 65 is like a joke. It's never going to happen. Like I'm going to work until I die.
Yeah.
Like I don't get to live the American dream. I rent a house. I don't own it.
Right.
I don't drive a great car. I drive. I've never owned a new car.
Right. I hear you.
Like that. Those are the things that like I feel like the younger generations look at us and say like, oh yeah, you've got it so great, and then you fucked it up for us. Like I hate to break it to you, we're the generation that figured out that everything is rigged.
Right.
It's not broken, it's rigged.
Right.
The system is rigged. And you're just a spoke on a wheel.
Yeah, that's it.
And if that spoke breaks, they'll replace it with another one.
Yeah.
So
every time.
Your
number.
Yeah. So
I can break it to you, kids.
Yeah. So like while like these younger generations like, well, we're gonna fix it. Like there's nothing to fix. It's rigged.
Yeah. It's a loaded hand.
Yeah. And the house always wins, and you're not the house.
Right.
So get in line and do the job.
Right.
Like stop bitching
about it.
Yeah. And handle your business. So like that but like, and it's always like, well, Gen X is like, the generation that like, don't bother Gen X. And it's like, well, and then they're like, well, why don't you give a fuck? Well, it's because we figured that out.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. Like, you want to yell at boomers, and you want to yell at us, and like, I don't care. Yell all you want.
Right.
Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings.
It's funny how they just don't see that side.
No.
You know what I mean?
Like, it seems like it's the easiest thing to figure out.
Yeah.
Like, you're yelling at a cloud. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I don't care.
Right.
Like these younger generations talk about, like, the safe spaces and everything that goes along, all the stuff that, like, if that's what you feel like you need, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. But like, don't expect me to want that.
Right.
Like, I think that's what offends them more than anything, is like I'm just like, I don't care.
Right.
Like, call me whatever the fuck you want. Say what you want. Say what you will.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't stop me from my day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to continue head down, nose to the grindstone.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they want.
No, neither do I. Like, if you want acknowledgement, I'm not going to give it to you.
Right.
You know why? The previous generations sure as fuck didn't acknowledge me.
Right.
Yeah. Get used to it.
Yeah.
But so.
Spoke on the wheel.
Yeah, spoke on the wheel. Just keep running. So, like, that's the stuff that, like, and I love that there's the one guy who's like, Gen X, why'd you have to drink from a hose? Were sinks not an option? It's like, well, no, they weren't. Like, you were not allowed inside the house. It was like, get the fuck out.
Right.
Yeah. You come back at 5 for dinner, then you leave. You don't come back until, I yell for you. Yeah. Or when the street lights come on.
Yeah, you leave us alone.
Yeah. And again, that wasn't neglect. Like, I don't think it was neglect. I think it was just like, it was shit that got ruined because the world is an awful place.
Yeah. And they don't understand that.
Yeah. Because again, that's what, like it was that thing of, like, I was told stranger danger.
Right.
Like, you don't get into a car with a stranger. You don't get in a car with one of our friends.
Right.
Like, my mom will, like, tell me, like, if my friend Chris comes and says, hey, I'll give you a ride home, you say no.
Really?
As much as they trusted Chris, you just didn't get in the car. Like, you did not get in the car with anybody. Like, right. You made your way home.
Yeah.
You don't take a drink from a stranger. Don't do, that there was so much shit that was like, so that when I guess when we became adults and we started having children,
right,
instead of saying, like, okay, I trust you not to get into a car with a stranger,
right,
we said, you know what, I'm just going to helicopter parent you.
Right.
Like, we are not going to let you out of our sight. And I don't know if that was for better. I can't say because I never had a kid, but like, as somebody who didn't have a kid, looking at those who did, it's like all the things that frightened us as children that were, impaled into our brain.
Right.
We took that and said, well, I'm going to wrap my child in a protective cocoon to prevent this from ever happening. And what it ended up doing probably wasn't better.
Right.
It's a weird thing. Like, I don't know what would have been better. Like, I
don't know either.
Yeah, and all the psychological stuff, like they talk about, you can't hit your kid. Well, like, sometimes a kid needs hit. Like, I'm sorry,
Sometimes
I'm not talking about abuse. I mean, I think there's a fine line between abuse and punishment.
Right.
Like, I was punished. I was never abused. Like, never in my life was like, did I get paddled? Yes. Was it frequent? No.
Right.
But when I did, I knew I fucked up.
Right.
And I had to think about, like, man, what did I do wrong?
Right.
Like, let's not ever do that again. You know,
Ever.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like, it wasn't like, I don't look at that as abuse.
No.
Like, I mean, there's a huge difference. Like, I mean, you know, if you were getting smacked every day for nothing, like,
Right.
you know, you were probably abused. You know, like, but like, I wasn't. My sister certainly wasn't. You know, but at the same time, we were punished.
Sure.
You know, and but now, like, if you try to punish a child that way, like, you are in the wrong.
Right.
You know,
No, you weren't.
like,
I hear that.
you will have government agencies coming down on your head so fucking fast. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I'm not even talking like I was never told to go out back and get a Switch. I think you might have once
What's that?
been told to go get a Switch.
A Switch?
Yeah. Like, go pick out the stick I'm going to whoop your ass with. You know?
That's brutal.
Yeah. And it better be a good one. Don't come back with any flabby stick. You know? Like, if it's not good enough, you're going to go back and get another one.
No, I know.
You know?
I don't think I ever got the Switch.
You never got the Switch? Okay.
Did you?
No, I never got the Switch. Like, to me, the worst toy in the world was when somebody would buy you the paddle ball,
Yeah, that was bad.
because once the string broke, that then became a paddle.
Right. Yeah, that was bad.
You know, so like anytime somebody got me, like, I babied the fuck out of those. Like,
What's that?
I would baby the fuck out of those.
Would
Like,
you?
oh, because like you knew, like, well, okay, the second that the string breaks, it is now an implement for punishment.
Oh, yeah.
And do I want them to have the implement of punishment? No, I don't. So even like as a young child, I was like, well, we don't play with that much,
Right.
so that it doesn't break.
Exactly. And your
You know.
parents are like, go ahead, play with it.
Yeah. You know, no.
That was the
That balsa wood is not hitting my ass.
that was the city Switch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Mom got me with those a couple times.
I remember. I think it was Tracy's, but it was a big plastic one.
Okay.
Like, no joke. Like, it was like this. Like, it was a good,
Oh.
you know, but it was a big and plastic. It had like a clown's face on it, and it like had like a Nerf ball at the end of it, or like a foam ball.
Yeah.
So like, well, once that strung broke, like that was the paddle for a very long time. Like, I was like living in fear of that fucking clown.
Really?
Like, yeah. Oh, because like you knew, like, if they brought that thing down, like, you really fucked up. Like, oh shit. Like, I may have only gotten it once, maybe twice with that thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, and it was never like. I always think, like, looking back at it, like, I never think my parents hit me all that hard. I think it was just a matter of the fact that I got hit.
The mechanism of which you were getting hit.
Right. Like, there was a sting, but it was never like, they never hit me with like any, like, you know, Big Chuck was never turning it up to 10.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it was like at best a 2.
Really?
Yeah, you know, whap. You know, you're like, oh fuck. You know, like, shit like that. Like, you were never getting like really hit, but like, as a
Torched.
yeah. But as a child, like, you were just like, oh my god, that happened. I can't like, oh, you know.
My dad got me with a fucking whole belt once that
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna die. It hurt. And Mom just used a hand in the thing.
Yeah.
She got me a wooden spoon a couple times, but
I took a wooden spoon across the knuckles a couple of times for, like, you know, reaching up for the stove while it's hot.
did
Yeah, like, you know, what the fuck is wrong with you?
it?
You know, shit like that. But like,
Yeah.
again, like, you got your knuckles wrapped, it hurt, you cried,
Right.
but you're also like, well, if I don't want to get hit in the knuckles again, I better not reach for the stove.
Right.
You know, I should not put my hand in that flame.
Right.
And sometimes the animals taught us lessons.
What?
Oh, the best was, I mean, again, talking about how unsafe we lived. Like, my parents had a kerosene heater
Yeah.
in the house.
Right.
Like
Yeah, I remember that.
that was something that people had. You had a kerosene heater in your house.
Yeah.
And my dad's like always telling me, like, you can't touch it. It's hot. You're gonna burn yourself. You're
Right.
gonna burn yourself. But one day the cat jumped on it.
Oh shit.
And jumped right the fuck back off. All four paws had like little blisters on them and stuff. That cat was lounging for a few days waiting for those paws to heal. So like it was like the cat taught me a lesson of like,
Yeah.
that's hot.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Shit.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
Yeah. Or the time like my parents had this. It was a blue Kmart special fan
Okay.
from like 1970.
Oh.
So it didn't have plastic blades. It had steel blades in there.
Oh shit.
Well, I'm reaching in, trying to touch the blade as it's spinning.
It's like an oscillating saw.
Yeah. No clue. My dad like grabs me, whips me back. He goes, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" He's like, "You want to see what will happen if you put your finger in there?" He goes and gets a paper plate, twists it up, sticks it in there, and you just like paper fragments flying all over the living room. Like, you want that to fucking happen to your finger? I'm like, no.
That could be your flesh.
Yeah, then don't fucking put your finger in there again, dumbass. Like, yes, sir. I will never do that again.
You're the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like to the point, like later on, like when my friends would dare me to do like stuff like that, like with a I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah, that's
like even to this day, I'm kind of like like they're plastic fucking blades. They can't hurt you, but like there's like a little bit of me like remembers like being like 6 and my dad showing me like this could happen to your finger. We're like, I don't fuck with I will wait till it stops spinning completely.
Dude, I can't even imagine. I never had that. I used to fuck around with fans all the time because we grew up with fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not the metal ones.
No, my parents had a metal one.
I don't remember the metal fans.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, well, I think that's babbled on enough about this shit.
Okay.
I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Is there anything you'd like to add to the proceedings there, sir?
No, I'm good, man.
Well, remember there are a number of different reasons you can reach out. A number of different ways you can reach out. Well, first off, let me just say this before I delve into that. If you want to hear more of my hijinks and/or shenanigans, I did appear this week on the History of Bad Ideas podcast. Our good friends from Cincinnati had some great conversation that took some amazing twists and turns. One of the longest episodes they've had in quite some time, according to them, because I just completely put them off track.
Nice.
But so check them out at History of Bad Ideas podcast. You can find them on most podcatchers as well. Very, very easy to find. But if you'd like to contact us, you can, hold on. Let me.
What the?
All right. So I forgot to read Thad's email. So some interesting points here. He says, "I love Umbrella Academy. I wrote in months ago about the series and no one talked about it. F you, Sean." Well, I'm talking about it now because this final season premiered. I don't even remember when you wrote in about it. I'm sure I've watched every season as it's premiered. I'm sure you're just a Johnny come lately. So
nice.
F you, Thad. I love fact checking, Sean. Matthew McConaughey was a crazed preacher, not Gary Busey in Contact. Wrong again, Sean. Ha ha ha. Wrong again, Thad. Matthew McConaughey played the preacher who was like in the government as part of like in the movie Contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Matthew McConaughey. He did not blow up the first spaceship. Gary Busey's crazed teacher did. So, ha ha, Thad.
What'd you say?
I was talking about.
No. You said Busey what?
Busey was the crazed in the movie Contact. It was Gary Busey.
Not Gary Busey. It was his son.
It was Jake Busey?
Yeah.
Now I gotta check myself.
It was his son.
I could have swore it was Gary Busey.
Yep.
Let's see here. David Scarrett, James Woods. Geraldine Ferrara was in it. I don't even remember that. No, you are right. It was Jake Busey. So, ha to me.
Fuck y'all.
Yeah. It was Jake Busey, not Gary Busey, but he's the one who, like, he was the crazed religious fanatic who blows up the. Matthew McConaughey was the preacher.
Correct.
But he was also a friend to Jodie Foster's character. If I recall correctly, they had sex at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nancy is the best. She needs to replace Ian permanently.
Nice.
Ian is too important to be on the show anymore.
It's not true.
No, it's not true at all. He's just living his best life. Massive difference. And we support that. Sean, I am having my opening night for my Halloween show on Saturday, September 7th. You, Nancy, and Ian and Tim are invited. I know it is a long shot. You will have an excuse. You need to bathe your Godzilla or something. Let me know if you are coming
Bathe your Godzilla.
or not. Please ask Ian on the show. Remember, we have been friends for 30 plus years. Guilt trip.
Guilt trip.
Well, first off, September 7th is way too fucking early.
It is.
It is. Like, this should be like October that you should be doing this. Not September. Like, honestly. Like, I'm not even gonna go down this rabbit hole of hatred again. Because I hate, like, I went into a get-go and they already had out their fucking Reese's, Halloween, the pumpkins.
Right.
And I'm just like, it's too fucking early. Like, why is there a pumpkin roll in the bakery? It is not pumpkin spice season yet. No.
Right.
No. So no, September 7th is way too fucking early, number one, for any Halloween hijinks whatsoever. Number two, yes, I'm going to be busy that day. I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but I will be busy that day. We already had this discussion with Nancy. Like, we discussed, like, when I was a kid, I did not enjoy driving around looking at the Christmas decorations.
Okay.
Like, you know how people do that? Like, they drive around like
Yeah.
let's go look at the Christmas lights. I hate that shit. Like, I hated it as a kid. As a kid, I was like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, Real People was on right now.
Right.
That's Incredible was on right now.
Right,
Like,
right.
why are we driving around looking at fucking Christmas lights? This is stupid. Like, I honestly, like, as like a 6-year-old, I felt that way, and I haven't changed since then in my regards to that, which is why I don't believe in decorating for any holiday, let alone Christmas or Halloween. So, like, for you to like invite me to opening day of your Halloween display on September 7th, like 2 full months before Halloween even takes place.
Right.
Like, I'm just not coming. I'm sorry. God bless you for doing it. I appreciate the fact that this is something that you enjoy and you think it brings joy to others, and that's fantastic. But it's not my bag at all.
Right.
Like, at all.
Yeah. It's funny.
It is. Like, it is. Like, I don't. It's that thing to me of like I even hate. And I said this on the show a few weeks ago because me and Nancy talked about this. Like, you go to like that one park and you like do the drive through for like the Christmas lights. Like, you drive around the park.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I hated that. Like, I thought it was a waste of fucking money.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was a waste of taxpayer money. Like I'm like, man, my taxes went to this. What the fuck? So like if you dig it, that's fine. Like I good for you. Again, I don't care. I don't care if you like it or you don't. But like for me, it's not something I just can't see driving all that way to watch Halloween lights.
I get it.
Let alone, and that's not just for you, Thad. That's for anybody. Like I probably wouldn't show up to Ian's house to watch him do a Halloween display either.
No, no, you wouldn't.
I would. Like I would be like, yeah, I got something going on. I got cats. Got to go to the vet. Yeah,
I have to remove a tapeworm from my ass.
yeah. I got something. So like don't be offended, but no, I'm not coming. Ian may, Tim may,
Right.
Nancy's more than welcome to, but yeah, I am not. What did you think of the new Rings of Power trailer that dropped for season 2? I haven't watched it yet.
When's that coming out?
I think at the end of the month or the beginning of next month. I can't remember.
You enjoyed that, didn't you?
I did. I enjoyed the first season of that. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
A lot of money went into that.
Yeah, they sunk a lot of money into that. Last week we did a ranking of there was a magazine that did a ranking of the top 100 sci-fi movies of all time.
Okay.
Thad says I mostly agree with the top 20, but Ghostbusters needs to be ranked higher, and Godzilla -1 needs to be lower. Well, first off, Godzilla -1 was not on the list because it was only movies before the year 2000.
Okay.
So Godzilla -1 would not make this list at all because of the time frame.
Mm-hmm.
But also, again, I will say this. How dare you disparage Godzilla -1?
Right.
Like, I will again say, to each their own. Like, I understand you like when Godzilla's a good guy. I get that.
Right.
That's how I grew up watching most Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
But I also understand what the original Godzilla movie was all about. I felt this movie harkened back to that in many, many ways, giving us a fantastic movie about, humanity and post-war Japan and PTSD and so many other things that were wrapped up into that story of forgiveness and everything.
Yeah.
And Godzilla was just the MacGuffin.
Yeah, he was.
And it was just a brilliant fucking movie. And Godzilla was phenomenal for what he was used for. Like,
Sure. I agree.
The scariest Godzilla I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And there are there are other movies out there where Godzilla's not the good guy, and I like those movies too. Like the original Godzilla movie, Godzilla was not a good guy, know. So I understand why you don't like it, but I don't think you should be putting it down because of that.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like me saying I don't like the Godfather movies. They're awful. They're not awful. The first two are masterpieces.
Right.
I just don't care for gangster movies.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's how I look at it.
I'm not a big fan of The Godfather either.
No, but I mean,
I respect the movie for what it is.
Exactly. You can't deny what it is. It is a masterpiece of a movie.
Right.
But at the same time, I just don't like that genre of movies.
Right.
There are movies I don't like, but it's not because they're bad movies. It's just because I don't dig what they're about.
Right. Yeah, I didn't get into. I don't really get into gangster movies either.
No.
I mean, I've seen them.
Yeah.
And I respect what they are, but like Goodfellas and stuff like that. But
yeah, it's Goodfellas, Casino. Like, I mean, they're great movies.
Yeah.
Like, you can't deny what they are, but it's just not my cup of tea.
Correct.
But like it's that odd thing of like if I say, well, I don't like that movie, people are like, what? Like, it's just not my thing.
Right.
It's
just choice.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I mean, I'm the same. Some genres I just can't get into. Like I like my vice is post-apocalyptic movies.
Yeah.
That's not on everybody's bag.
Right.
They don't like those type of movies. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Like Furiosa. I'm still recommending it to you, even though there's a ton of sand,
Yeah.
because I know you like post-apocalyptic movies. You will get past the sand part
Yeah,
for
I
that
did.
movie.
Well, I did on the first one.
Yeah,
I'm not the first one, but I
but
did.
for Fury Road, yeah,
Fury Road, I got past it.
yeah. So like that's what I mean. Like it's that funny thing of like I know the things you don't like, and I know the things you like, but like with like Furiosa, you're gonna get past the fact that you just can't stand sand
Right.
to enjoy that movie because of the post-apocalyptic theme of it.
Right, and that's the same thing with me about westerns.
Yeah,
I don't like a lot of western movies. There's some I do,
yeah,
but for the most part, I'm not all gung ho on western movies.
right.
I just don't like them,
Yeah,
and I mean it's just I don't know, it's just who I am, But
Yeah.
I respect them.
yeah,
I just can't get into them.
Yeah.
That's all.
Unforgiven's a great movie.
It is.
I just can't get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like the Good, Bad, and the Ugly series, the spaghetti
Yeah.
westerns,
yeah,
great films.
yeah,
Can't really get into them that
Right.
much. I don't know.
No, I understand that.
I get the art direction. I get everything about them.
Yeah,
I just just can't get into them. I don't know.
yeah. Like there are a lot of movies I feel like I can like there are a lot of movies out there that I can
But I'm
tell
not
you.
judging on people that do like them.
Yeah,
It's just too much sand for me.
I understand. Like there's a lot of movies out there that
Sand, horses, and donkeys.
like people will tell you like, oh, this is a great movie, and I just can't get into it because the subject matter,
Right.
Is just not my thing. But I'm not going to sit there and disparage it,
Sure. Yeah.
because it very well may be a very good movie, maybe a great movie, maybe an Oscar winner,
Right.
but it's just not for me.
And Unforgiven was good, but it's just I don't have to watch it like 300 times.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Tombstone, on the other hand, that's a great movie.
I can watch it 300 times.
Yeah, I can watch it 300 times. Complete. It's a cowboy movie. There's some sand, but fuck, that movie's good.
Dude. Shit. Phil's wire.
Yeah.
It is good.
And Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday
Yeah.
steals the fucking movie from everybody.
Yeah. So good.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
So
Oh, yeah. So that's what I mean. Like,
Johnny Ringo.
yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, there is like that odd thing of like, yeah, it's a very good movie. I'm not going to deny that, but it's just not for me.
Right.
And people don't understand that.
Yeah, they can't get past it.
Yeah. And I like, so I understand why you don't like Godzilla -1, but I think you have to acknowledge it is a very, very good movie.
Right.
Like, in all honesty, it is. Like, I still feel it got ripped off for not being like movie of the year.
What's that?
Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
Like maybe it doesn't win, but it should have been nominated. Like the only nomination it got was for special effects, and like to me, like that at the very least, it should have been up for foreign movie of the year.
I agree with you.
But like, there's also a part of me that's like, well, why wasn't it nominated for best picture?
Yeah, because
Like-
the storyline was fantastic.
Yeah, because it's Godzilla. Is that why?
Right, because Godzilla was not the main piece in that
No.
movie. It was just a very well done movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
thought it was a really good movie.
it is, and like that's the thing that drives me nuts is like it goes back to like why wasn't The Dark Knight nominated? Well, because it's a Batman movie. If you change Batman out with some rogue FBI agent, it's a masterpiece. Like people would have
Right.
like drooled all over it, and it would have been won awards. And
Yeah.
but because it's Batman, oh no, we can't put that up for Best Picture. Are you nuts?
Yeah, that's what I think. That's why I think the Oscars is so full of shit.
So do I. Me too. Like as I've gotten older, I've like that type of stuff. I'm just like, yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah, it's just
I like what I like, and I don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. Like even like tomato scores and stuff like that. Like I'm like, if it's interesting to me, it's interesting to me.
yeah.
Sometimes I like a bad movie too.
Yeah. I just want to be entertained.
Yeah, like Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah.
It's a bad movie.
It's terrible.
Terrible, but I love it.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon from 1980.
Ugh.
Terrible movie. I love it. You know,
Yeah.
so like that's just how it, even like Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's a horrible movie. I love it.
They?
I do. Like I can watch that back to back with The Rocketeer, and The Rocketeer is a very good movie.
Okay.
Like The Rocketeer is one of those movies like people have forgotten about.
Mm.
But like if you go back and you watch The Rocketeer, it's a fun movie.
I know you like it.
Yeah. Like Sky Captain World Tomorrow, that's bad. But it's fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right. So anyway, there's a number of different ways you can reach out and touch us. You can send us an email like Thad does, and that email address is pittsburghnerd@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd. We're very, very easy to find. And we are on a number of podcasting networks. So you can find us on the Tangent Bound Network, the Weeby Geeks Network, and the Pod Breed Network. Just give them a Google search. You can find all the other great podcasts they have to offer. And lastly, as always, I want to thank you, dear listener, for taking the time to check us out each and every week. We can't thank you enough for your support.
Okay.
And on that note, the dreamer has awakened.
Peace.